Hello, you lovely, lovely people. Welcome back with me on this Friday evening. Sat here with sunburn, doing the tiles out the front on the steps. Stupid idiot. I never learn. Anyway, if you're thinking of buying property here, or building property here, and flipping it quickly for a few bucks, think again. And I'm saying this through knowing some foreigners here that thought that very same thing, and they still sat on the properties that they've built. And one of them has been up for sale for over 5 years. Many people kind of inquire about it, but even before they've seen it, they try and knock you down straight away. But anyway, he's had no one coming out to look at it in 5 years. It's not the same as our country, where it is quite a good business if you're building, especially townhouses for cheap rentals, because people buy them and rent them out. But here, the chances of you making money is very minimal, especially in these kind of places. In Cebu or Manila or places like that, you might have an opportunity. But generally speaking, don't even think about it, because I think you'll be surprised, and not in a pleasant way. You'll be sat on that house for ages and ages and ages, because generally speaking, when foreigners build a house, we kind of go for the extra 9 yards, we fixtures and fittings. But that doesn't mean nothing to a Filipino. It doesn't mean nothing if you're putting in extra. They just want somewhere cheap. And I've seen houses that have been for sale for a long time. And you go through Facebook marketplace here, which is where a lot of them actually do sell their properties, and you see the same places that's been for sale for a long time. What you probably would, if you've got a trusting Filipina, is land, buying a bit of land in a province, sitting on it for a while, and then just selling it. Don't do anything to it. Just sit on it for a while and then sell it. That way you'll probably earn a few quid. But building houses and selling them on here is a definite no, people, really. And I'm not saying this to put anybody off. I'm just saying this because of experience of foreigners here who's trying to sell their houses that they've built. And one guy that I know, he built it. It's a beautiful house, I must say, with beautiful sceneries overlooking the mountains and stuff. And he's been trying to sell that for 5 years, might even be 6 years, and no one's interested, because it's so expensive. And also, if you think you can build a house now cheaply and sell it at a profit, think again, because the materials have also risen in price as well. Labour has risen in price also, to what it was when I first come here. When I first come in here, it was like 400 pesos a day. Now it's like 500 or 600. Where I am, in the cities, it's a lot more money, for labour and for skilled workers. Like as skilled as you can get them, And also, there was a foreigner that I was speaking to ages ago, and he was a skilled builder, and he was thinking, and he was on a 13A, and he was thinking of working here, building work. And I said to him, "Are you serious?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, what kind of salary will you be looking at? If you was to be thinking of building, starting working." He said, "Well, I don't know." I said, "Well, look, it doesn't matter how skilled you are, or the colour of your skin, you aren't going to earn more than like 600 or 700 pesos a day. And get out of it." I said, "Oh, honestly." And he says, "Yeah, but I'm skilled. I can do this." And he's on about marble plastering or something. And he showed me some pictures on his phone, and it did look damn good, actually. And I said, there could be like a niche for that. But I said, have you checked out if you can get those materials here? And he said, no, I haven't. I said, well, the chances are you won't get those materials here that you need to do that, because it's like specialised plaster. It's like Italian marble plastering or something. It does look good, mind. And you polish it and all that, and it just looks like a sheet of marble. But I said, the materials you get here, you can't even get like Carlite multi-finish or thistle finish here. You get this skim coat here that it's like 1 coat skim coat, and it's you can't polish it or anything like that. You put it on, and the way to get that smooth is you sand the damn stuff, and there's dust everywhere. It's not like board finish back in the UK where you can get like a nice finish on it and you don't have to go over it. But yeah, he was thinking of that, and I said to him, you're joking, honestly, you're joking. I said, maybe if you start up a business in your wife's name, of course, or 60% of it in her name, or whatever the percentage is in a Filipino. I said, then maybe start a building firm, but the salaries are crap. The salaries that you'd be used to, you're going to get a minuscule of it, really, a minuscule of it. And I said, it's hardly worth your time. And I said, why would you come over here and want to work anyway? And he said, I'm bored. I said, there's plenty of things to do where you're not bored. But yeah, he thought he was going to come over here and work with a decent salary, building. I said, back home, as you know, being like a master builder is good. If you work for a company or you're self-employed, you can charge good rates. But here is probably one of the worst rates you can get is on construction here, and it's damn hard work. There's no machines as such, to do all the donkey work. It's just manpower. He's like, right, okay. But I don't think he took my word for it. He's probably tried and seen that there was some truth, in fact a lot of truth to what I was saying. I mean, if you're a master builder, build your own house. You'll save on some bits and pieces. But as I said, trying to build a house here and flip it and sell it at a profit, it's just a no-no. It's just not going to work. So what I say is to people who are going to build a house here, make sure you build a house in a place where you want to live. Don't think, I don't know, I'll build this house and see if I like it here or not. Because the chances of you trying to sell it and move somewhere else and build again or buy another place is going to be bloody hard. So find somewhere where you like we did here. Build a house and stay there. Stay there. What I would like to do, me personally, is when I get some money, when, but I will somehow, is buy a little plot, only 100 square meters. That's all I'm talking about here, 100 square meters, and build in a buy-high core near the ocean, like in Dapitan. That's my plan. And that is not to sell, that's just to go there at weekends where I haven't got to travel too far, fishing. I can stay there and fish for the weekend till my heart's content. But that's not a profit thing for me. That's just somewhere that would suit my selfishism, even if that's a word, of fishing. That's what I would like to do. I'm envious of these people who live by the sea. I'm envious. And most of them don't even fish. They just live by the sea. And I think, God, if I lived by the sea, I'd be fishing there every day. I'd be exploring the beaches. I'd be exploring, the little coves and the reefs and things like that. But many people here don't. They just don't. But that's what I would like to do. And I've never thought of business out here. Never thought of business. Because you hear so many horror stories, don't you? Foreigners have come here with all these big dreams, and some have succeeded. I must say, some have succeeded. There's a guy who's got pigs round here. He's a foreigner. I think he's got a lot. I think he's about 30 of them. I think, but he doesn't make a lot of money, but he makes some money on top of his pension and stuff. But I've never thought of that because one, I'm too lazy, to get involved in all that sort of stuff. And two, I didn't come here to do that. And I think my life is too, it's too full as it is. Taking care of my little boy and all that, because he's a daddy's boy, as you probably know. He's always with daddy. Now he's in bed with his mum. He said, "Daddy, you coming up?" "Yeah, I'm coming up, son. I'll be there in a minute." And he won't rest. He won't sleep until I go upstairs. But I've never really thought of business here. Never, never, never. It's not something that I would choose to do. Investment, no. I would never even think of doing something for investment in the Philippines. I wouldn't, people, really. Like I said, land is probably your best bet if you want to sit on it for a while. But even that, how long are you going to sit on it? Any foreigner here who comes here thinking that they're going to earn money by doing business here, you got to think, right? Even a little sari shop, you can earn you a little bit of money, but not a lot. But even if you've got like a new idea, like I'll open up like like a meat shop here, because there are no meat shops here. You bet your life, within a couple of months, a Filipino will open up, like another meat shop, or like pig feed. You bet your life, if you opened up a pig feed shop, a Filipino will open up a pig feed shop not far from you. That's what they do here. So any good idea that you've got, the Filipino will copy it, and they will do it. And it's just what happens. It's just what happens. Like I said before, when I had the other house, before I lost it, through this scam, we had little sari, and there was no one there with the sari. Good God, within a month, 3 doors up, someone else opened up a sari. And they will beat you down with the price. For an example, if you're, and I'm just saying this, if you're, because at the time, I think San Miguel for a litre was about 90 pesos. And they would sell it for less than you. Price gazumping, innit? Price gazumping. And generally speaking, like a Filipino would rather go to a Filipino shop. And also, it's not, when you've got a shop, it's different if you got a shop and you like near a sea, like the seafront. That's different. But let's just say I wanted to open up a sari here. Let's just say that I don't. But if I did, what would the Filipinos think of me? Look at that foreigner. He's opened up a sari shop. He's taking business away from these, from the Filipino saris. So that's going to cause a little bit of animosity. And animosity and drawing attention to yourself is the last thing you want, isn't it? You don't want that. You don't want to be drawing attention to yourself. Blending in. That's what I come here for, was just blending it. Because I'm like a chameleon. I can blend in to my surroundings easily, no matter where I am. When I was in South Korea, when I was in Japan, I just blended in. I couldn't speak. I couldn't speak to anybody because they don't speak English very often, or very much. So I couldn't really blend in with conversation, but I just, I was just blended in, not complaining, not drawing attention to myself. But yeah, it was quite a hard time in Japan and South Korea, if I'm honest. Beautiful country, Japan, but trying to make friends, trying to go for a pint is because they don't open. The bars are not like the bars in the UK where you can just go anytime and have a pint, like with the Spoons or Yates. No, they open in the evenings for a few hours, and it's couples that go there. You get like a single man go out, and it's like, whoa, what's single man out on his own in a pub. They think, what's going on here? But yeah, that's how they think. He's different, isn't it? That's why I like Philippines. You can get a drink at any time if you want to drink at any time. These local people here, they start drinking at any time, 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. They do, really. And why not? If that's what they want to do, why not? We're here to enjoy ourselves. But like I said, people, if you are really seriously thinking of earning money in real estate here, building a house and flipping it, think again, seriously. because it's just not going to happen. And you will be very, very disappointed with yourself, and you'll say, Stephen was right. He was right. Why didn't I listen to him in his video before? Why didn't I listen? That's it. It's just a video of that. And we've been invited for a birthday tomorrow. One of my wife's friends. And we're going to go there. So I'm going to have a day off tiling. I think I've got one more day, and I'll be finished that tiling. And when I've finished it, I will show you my excellent work. Without sunburnt over it. Honest to God, I'm like a lot. You can't see. You can't see. Can I look? I'm red raw. I'm really. Oh, you can't see. I'm red raw, people. Really. My wife says, put some oil on it. Oil? What kind of oil? She said, coconut oil. I said, if you put coconut oil on that, I will fry like a chip. No, don't put anything on it. I'll suffer. Coconut oil. Anyway, people, that's it for me. Over and out. See you next time.